Nora with the longest intro in the history of Queer News Tonight.
Yes.
We have Glenn with his brand new spiffy shirt. And Mr. Dino Mosquera. Just love saying his last name, Mosquera. Es que te dije que no, que no.
Fan del barrio.
Más del barrio. Oh, okay, I'm excited. We're gonna have a good show, guys. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, and welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, June 9th, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show. Out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and WeMag and events. Hotspots is celebrating 35 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and WeMag is bringing you Wilton Manor's Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival on June 19th. Merged, we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community.
This evening, we bring you the news of and perspective representing the LGBTQ plus community from South Florida, America, and across our planet. No need to adjust your screens. I am not Al Ferguson. I am your anchor at Queer News Tonight. Faye, what? Yeah, I know, right? I just look a little browner. Okay, I got a tan. It is what it is. So let's welcome our anchors for this evening. Our first anchor is Nora Rotella. She is a Miami native and one of the founding partners of Rotella and Hernandez, a full-service immigration and family law firm, and frequently appointed as a guardian ad litem, and I probably said that wrong, to advocate for the best interests of children in custody disputes. She is also a Florida Supreme Court certified family law mediator and was voted by her peers as one of Florida's legal elite. A super lawyer, rising star, and top lawyer in the area of marital and family law. She is also a fellow of the Dade Legal and Leadership Academy, immediate past co-chair of the Gay and Lesbian Lawyers Association, GALA, and an active member of the family law section of the Florida Bar. Good evening, Nora.
Thank you, Faye. So happy to be here. And let's welcome now Greg Shapiro. He is a renowned LGBTQ plus author of 7 books, most recently Sunshine State, his Florida-centric poetry chapbook that observes and writes about his adopted state with wisdom, passion, quiet humor, and a sharp eye for detail. He is also an entertainment journalist whose interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ plus mainstream publications and websites. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, Nora. Thank you so much. Let's welcome guest anchor Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outside Film Festival's Board of Directors. He is the screening committee chairman selecting films for one of America's most important LGBTQ film festivals. Welcome, Dino.
Thank you, Greg. Let's welcome anchor Glenn Weinzimmer. Glenn is the founder of the Smart Ride, the second largest AIDS bicycle ride in the country, and the only one of his sites to give back 100% of funds raised to AIDS service organization. He also owns Bona Italian restaurant, where they celebrate Give Back Mondays, where a portion of all sales go to a different charity event every week. Welcome, Glenn.
Thank you, Dino. We are ready. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America, in diverse our community across the world, and vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Wednesday, June 9th.
So let's get started by queering up the USA. A record number of Americans, including Republicans, support same-sex marriage. Support for same-sex marriage in the U.S. has reached an all-time high of 70%, according to a poll released by Gallup on Tuesday. The percentage, the highest since the organization began recording the trend in 1996, marks a 10% increase since 2015. The same year, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled all states must recognize same-sex marriages. The rise in support stems largely from a majority of Republicans who, for the first time, approve of same-sex marriage at 55%, according to the Gallup poll.
Well, it was about time, don't you think? Only took another 6 years.
LGBTQ people got married and the world didn't come to an end.
Shocking. I know, right? So it's reflective of the times, you know. It's not surprised that the society approves of this, and I hope it's reflected with the Supreme Court in case they want to try something and reverse it.
I'm sure they're trying to also pander to a lot of gay and lesbian, bisexual Republicans who may not feel completely included in their representation in the Senate and Congress. So I think it's definitely progress. I'm happy to see it, although the Republican Party is not my party. But you know, I'm happy to feel someone included in there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there is part of an economic impact to that too. You know, is that one of the reasons why they've seen the economic impact of the LGBTQ plus community? And is that why they're, you know, jumping in at this point, if you want to play devil's advocate, how much of it is sincere and how much of it is economic?
I mean, think about how much money we spend on our weddings. I mean, hello, when we get married, we do it big time, you know? And I know that a lot of Republican organizations and companies that decided to jump in full force because they wanted our dollars. Even if they are a little fabulous dollars, they're still dollars.
Well, and think of all the people all the bakers who are losing money because they won't bake cakes for gay weddings.
Exactly. And I remember that big story that came out a couple of years ago about, and there was a lawsuit over that.
Yes, and we did a story yesterday on Queer News Tonight about a similar story about a bakers. They were making cookies, and people wanted, after a huge, they had placed a very huge order and then took it back. Well, the LGBTQ community decided that they were going to stand behind this bakery and sold them out 4 times over because that's what we do. And then after that, they decided to call their allies and tell their allies to come on over and buy the rest of the cookies for the rest of the year, because that's how we do. So you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
And we stand behind each other, which is awesome.
That's right. Miss Nora?
All right, so now let's square up gay culture. Rihanna launches body positive Savage X Pride line of lingerie. To mark their new Savage X Pride collection, Rihanna's brand hired photographer Quill Lemons, beauty artist Hector Espinal, and 13 models from the LGBTQIA+ community. The result is an astounding collection of full color portraits, sorry about that, in which queer individuals decked out in Savage X Pride intimates and jackets openly celebrate their bodies. The campaign is joyful, bold, devious, and purposefully indulgent. For Savage X, sexuality is worth celebrating now, today, and immediately. Proceeds from Savage X Pride will help support 5 organizations focused on LGBTQ well-being, including GLAAD, the Audre Lorde Project, the Caribbean Equality Project, Inc., Trans Latin Coalition, and the Trans Wellness Center. Wow, I had a tough time saying those names.
What do you guys think? Look at those hunky models. Did you see all those models?
All sizes represented.
Give it to Rihanna, man. She is the master of marketing. She is a trailblazer. She's done it before. She's doing it again. She's embracing body positivity, which is awesome. And now also diversity, which is fantastic.
And I think it's great that, I mean, from reading this article, that some of the proceeds from the sale of this seem to be going to organizations benefiting the LGBTQ+ community, which at the end of the day is what we want, right?
Very important.
Absolutely. Before I finished reading the article and saw that money was going to the places, I was like, more rainbows, just what I need, more rainbows. You know, and then I saw that at the end, and I was like, all going to a good cause, it is so worth it.
Well, I know that Faye already got herself a very sexy lingerie to use with her wife.
Yes,
The lacy
Nora,
one?
we're talking about the crotchless underwear. Yeah, we're all about it. What? It's beautiful. That and a jock strap, we are ready for Pride, baby.
Exactly.
That is right.
You know, and I love that, you know, in Pride, we love to celebrate our authentic selves. And this is what Rihanna's doing, just by having the body positivity, like you mentioned, Dino. You know, the reality is that not all of us are a size 0. You know, most of us are pleasantly plump. And after that quarantine 15, girl, that's for real.
That's why this table's right here.
So I love this. I love the models. I love Rihanna for doing it. And again, some proceeds go to good causes. best story of the day so far.
We all have to go out there and get our cat suits with the, the holes in the right places, right?
Go Riri.
In all the right places.
All the right
All the
places.
right places.
Now we queer up entertainment. Drag Race All-Star 6 trailer reveals mother of all twists and fierce guest judges. Watch this.
Rise and shine, All-Stars. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars is sashaying to its new home
exclusively on Paramount Plus. I love Plus.
sass, the class, and all this ass. She's back.
This is it, round 2. I see talent, talent, talent.
I have been dreaming about the second chance, so get the ready.
It's a showstopper.
You look incredible.
Back to claim my crown.
This season of All-Stars is going to be a game within a game.
I am gagged.
Child, the girls are out for blood. All-Stars is a game of friendships and strategy. You want to be here, show it. This is redemption time.
Just not to come at you,
But it is to come at me.
Hold on. Don't do that.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Relationships are gonna have to come into play.
get ready.
It was right on point.
I am obsessed with your outfit. Amazing job all around.
This is not enough.
Can my All-Stars rise to the challenge?
Let's do this.
In the first look footage of the Paramount Plus show, which dropped Tuesday, the mother of all twists for the 13 queens taking to the workroom was teased. In the trailer for All-Stars 6, RuPaul warns, quote, "This season of All-Stars is going to be a game within a game." End quote. Ahead of the 2-episode premiere on June 24th, a whole constellation of stars have been confirmed as guest judges or special guest spots, ranging from Charlie XCX to Miss Piggy, with some blink and you'll miss it appearances in the trailer.
So
Miss Piggy. I mean,
that's all you have to say.
that's all. I was like, Miss Piggy? Like, I got to that part and I was like, what? And I love Ross Matthews, so I was glad to see that he's back. I just love the fact that every year they manage to find a way to keep that show relevant and keep changing it, because it could become like most other reality shows where it becomes so boring and know exactly what to expect. So I love that excitement.
The rules keep changing, though. It's a completely different competition. My money is on Ginger Minch or Electra. I think it's a big girls' year, so this is going to be the year. One of those two, or maybe Jiggly Caliente. So.
And with
Heard it here first.
And with Miss Piggy being there, I imagine it's not the first time someone on that show has had a hand up their dress.
I'll be honest, I've never watched the show, but watching this trailer,
Hold on, everybody gag.
Clutch my pearls, oh my God.
I need to spend more time out of the office. But yes, I mean, just watching this trailer makes you want to watch this show. So I may have to tune in.
I'm surprised this is the first time it's going to be on Paramount Plus,
Yeah.
which is streaming. You had to pay for it. So it used to be on VH1 and then Logo before, so it was free. But now you had to. So I'm wondering how the ratings will be this time around.
Honestly, Dino, people will go.
Yeah,
Okay, I
absolutely.
really do believe that RuPaul's Drag Race can do a RuPaul's Drag Race Astoria Queens, and people will still go to
Absolutely.
see it because it's just, we love it. We can't get enough of it. It's the beauty, it's the fabulousness. And you now see, like, if you guys saw Drag Race at the beginning in season 1, compare that to now where the guests that they have are incredible, Angela Bassett. Beyonce's mom is going to be.
Beyonce's mom, right.
Beyonce's mom. This woman, Beyonce came out of her vag, okay? This woman is going to be on the show.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. and like Dino said, the twists and turns, and they always change the rules on you, and you never know. They intro that they're bringing a new girl back, and they don't let you know who it is.
Oh, drama.
The drama.
Drama.
The drama. Like, we don't have enough in our lives.
I love
right?
that they went mainstream. Like that it's become inclusive of not just the LGBTQ community, but it's become an entertainment venue for everybody, and as a stereotypically cheap Jew, I'd still pay to go see it.
The number one fans, cheap Jew.
I mean, what can you expect,
The number
If I'm
one-
willing to spend the money.
Then of course, the number one fans of Drag Race are cis, white women.
Of course.
Okay,
Yes,
that's what
right.
it is. Then the rest of us,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
really think about it. So
Right.
exceptional. Keep it going, Ru. Keep it going.
Let's queer up Gay culture. Pride flag gets redesigned to include intersex folks. The original rainbow flag, created in 1978, was a symbol of hope and inclusion for queer people. But Gilbert Baker, a driving force behind the flag, also advocated for its evolution over the years as the LGBTQ+ community grew and identities emerged. A few years ago, Philadelphia introduced a pride flag under the direction of Amber Hikes that included a black and brown stripe added to it to be sure that black and brown folks knew they were included in the flag's message. The following year, the stripes of the transgender flag were incorporated into the modern pride flag by designer Daniel Quasar. Now, designer Valentino Vecchieri has reimagined the flag to specifically include and acknowledge intersex folks. What do you guys think?
Well, I have to say I absolutely love the flag. I know that there's, a difference of opinions, but I do really love it. I think it's very inclusive. I think that it incorporates the history behind the pride flag, but this progress flag is the changes that we've seen throughout these many years.
But I also don't think it erases the original flag.
Right.
I think the original flag still stands and is an important symbol. This is just another level.
And I like that they went back to the original flag in the stripes itself, and then moved all the new to the triangle or whatever you want to call it at the front end, the arrow. That made me really happy to see that, because it was sort of almost the original flag was getting washed away by so many stripes.
Yeah.
It's the first new element, other than stripes, with a circle.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Well, I think it's beautiful, and I know that it is a touchy subject, like Nora said, and we do respect the Baker flag. We will always remember that is where we started. That is our history. We will never step on that. But we've evolved, and we've come a long way. And I always say that the Gilbert Baker flag, it was made by, was when it was gays. It was just G's. It was white G's, and that was it. And we've come a long way. So I always say we've got to add more colors, add more symbols, bedazzle the hell out of the flag. I don't care, as long as each and every one of us are represented.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's
Glenn?
me next.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Next, let's clear up business. Pride Month meets Wall Street as new LGBTQ ETF hits the market. Just in time for Pride Month, Wall Street has its first LGBTQ-focused ETF. Procure AM, in partnership with LGBTQ Loyalty Holdings, launched the new LGBTQ 100 ESG ETF this week. The first of its kind fund uses LGBTQ community data to identify the top 100 companies that most align with the group's environment, social, and corporate governance, ESG, goals. The fund includes names like Estée Lauder, Facebook, Starbucks, PayPal, Visa, and more. In an ETF Edge, interview Andrew McOrmond, managing director at Wallach Beth Capital, said it comes down to this new wave of investors. He says the new investor is younger and emphasizes the intersection between social governance, goals, and investing. That was a lot of abbreviations.
But you got through it. I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
And WTF is an ETF.
Right. I was like, oh my God.
Seriously.
OMG.
Is it related to an NFT?
You know.
I mean, what is
And LMNOP. All right.
Exactly.
So, what do you guys think about the story?
Time to show the gay power.
Gay power.
Money. Yeah. That's right. It's time for that.
I just learned what an ETF was. I had no idea that an ETF was an exchange traded fund. So it's basically a type of security that tracks an index, right? And this particular ETF is tracking gay-friendly, LGBTQ-friendly businesses and organizations. So if we believe in what they're tracking, then we send them money and buy some stocks and watch our money grow, like Nora said, right?
And support those companies. I mean, what was interesting is the top companies are the same ones we've been seeing for a while as the top 100. That hasn't changed, Facebook and all of the others. I was interested to see Estée Lauder, though. I mean, I'm sure it's always been supportive, but for some reason they've never come up as the top 100 in anything I've ever seen. So.
It's highlighting companies that are inclusive in their hiring too. So that's important. So if you want to show your support, that's the way you can do it too. Also supporting this.
Always
index.
support companies who support us.
That's right.
That's why I won't go to Chick-fil-A, right? Right. Now we queer up the world. Indian court calls for sweeping reforms to respect LGBTQ rights. A court in India ordered state and federal officials on Monday to draw up plans for sweeping reforms to respect LGBTQ rights. In a ruling that went far beyond the narrow terms of a case brought by a lesbian couple who said they had been harassed by police. Judge Anand Venkatash of Madras High Court ruled in favor of the couple, who had complained that police had subjected them to harassing questioning after their parents filed a missing persons report. But the judge also used the opportunity to issue a broad ruling that called for the elimination of what is described as illegal discrimination against members of the LGBTQ community. He ordered state and federal government departments to report back with steps they intend to take to comply.
Well, I absolutely love this story as well. I'm actually so happy that I'm part of today's anchorship. You know, it's amazing the progress that we're seeing around the world, right? And in a place such as India, where they don't recognize same-sex marriage, they don't recognize same-sex marriage adoptions. So it's amazing, and it's a great story to see that there is progress that's being made in places such as India.
What I really loved about the article is the judge, before making his ruling, actually went to was it a therapist or psychotherapist or somebody to talk to about what it meant, because he really didn't understand, and before he could rule on it, whether he believes in it or not, the rule of law was this makes sense after speaking to the therapist. And I admired that as well, that it wasn't just, as you see in so many countries, just no, because no is what I want to say, that he took that time.
It's showing some progress. I mean, India has its issues with, especially with discrimination against women, and particularly women, for, you know, and also LGBT community, but it's showing that at least things are moving, and they have a government that is very right-wing populist right now. So the fact that this is happening under Modi is showing that things are changing for the better, hopefully. So.
Right.
I think this story definitely gives us hope. It gives us hope that for a country like India that seems to be so behind when it comes to LGBTQ rights, human rights, not even just LGBTQ rights, for them to be, you know, and for the judge, like you said, to want to take that extra step to educate himself before making a ruling really does give us hope. Absolutely. You know, that we don't know when or how, but maybe India will follow suit, and someday you'll see one of those amazing Indian weddings that are same-sex.
Right. And right now, especially right now, when you've got there's so much going on with COVID there, which it's, you know, you think they could have buried this story, or it could have just been pushed aside, and it wasn't.
Right,
that
the
makes it even more,
was the
makes
fact
it even
that
more
they
powerful.
did this. Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, well, that's our queer headlines for today. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight has been LGBTQ plus America's most important news source on the pandemic, as we have reported on coronavirus on every news broadcast since January 6, 2020.
Tonight we report the devastating effect coronavirus has had on the American and worldwide LGBTQ plus community in total cases and death.
But we also provide hope of a new light at the end of this long tunnel. As of tonight, more than 2,397,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
We have watched the greatest single-year LGBTQ plus health crisis of our lifetimes. More than 42,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving, because as of today, more than 303 million vaccination doses have been administered in the U.S.
That is our COVID-19 news for tonight. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network is passionate about our support for LGBTQ plus community.
An example is Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine and supporting that partnership.
The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live.
We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Athena Dion, drag performer known from performing on South Beach and in Mykonos, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Finally, we thank Queer News Tonight's hotel sponsor, Best Western I-95 for Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our host and guest stay at the LGBTQ+ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when visiting South Florida.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ+ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ+ evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing, ring the bell for updates, share this news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television news in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ+ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Faye. What? Miss you, Al. And on behalf of these LGBTQ+ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Nora Rotella, Greg Shapiro, Dino Mosquera, and Glenn Weinzheimer, we will see you daily, and that means tomorrow at 8 p.m. Good night.